So in the past 12 months I have used iPhone 10, iPhone 12 Pro, 12 mini, 12 Pro Max, and most recently of course I used iPhone 13 Pro. But today I want to share with you the review of the device which I have decided to use going forward. And as you can see from the title of this video, it is iPhone 13 mini. Long story short, iPhone 13 mini is the best device for me, and I can say that even after using the iPhone 13 Pro, which I believe is the best iPhone right now, the closest one to being perfect thanks to its amazing promotion display, amazing camera module, and of course much improved battery life. But for me, iPhone 13 mini is the device I want to use going forward, and if you are interested to find out why, stick around and watch this video. And everything starts this display, and 13 mini has an amazing quality display panel. It is colorful, sharp, as bright as the Pro lineup list year, and it has the highest pixel density of any iPhone ever. Of course, 60Hz is no promotion, and I do agree that iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max have better display. It is much smoother and more beautiful to look at, but at the end of the day, if you are using iPhone 13 mini display for a couple of hours and don't think about promotion display, you still get amazing quality display panel which is more than good enough for everything you might do on your phone. Same can be said about the display size. It is obviously the smallest iPhone in the iPhone 13 lineup, but it is not small at all. It is more than good enough, more than big enough for everything you might do on your phone. If you watch full-length movies on your phone, then of course Pro Max or even just the regular 13 might be better for you. But for me, I do have iPad Pro as well as MacBook, so I don't really need to watch movies on my iPhone, and for a phone which I put in my pocket, I believe that the size of the display is more than good enough. When it comes to performance, 13 mini is a very powerful little phone. It has the same A15 Bionic chip as all of the other iPhones. Yes, it does have one less GPU core and less RAM compared to the Pro models, but at the end of the day, in regular day-to-day usage, you will not notice any difference whatsoever. 13 mini has this beautiful design, which I think is very solid and premium looking. It is not as shiny and not as luxury looking as the Pro models because they had this stainless steel shiny frame. But for me, I think that this design is more than good enough, and it does feel like a flagship phone to me. This is the first time I went with the lighter color instead of the black, space gray or graphite, for example. I'm a little bit bothered about this aluminum frame around the display, but I guess this is something I might and I have to get used to because I do like the overall fresh look of this display. Smaller design means that this phone is very comfortable to hold in your hand, and I mean one hand, because this is the only iPhone you can use this one hand at the moment, at least the flagship level iPhone. I think that using phone this one hand is very underrated advantage these days because everybody are going for the bigger screens, and I guess I understand if you don't have an iPad or Mac or something like that close to you, but for me I think that using phone this one hand is such a big advantage. It's such a joy to take pictures with one hand. It's such a joy to just text a message sometimes when one of your hands is holding a bag or something and you can still use your phone with one hand. I think that this is a very underrated advantage, and this is why I do love this form factor very much. And that brings us to the most important things: battery life and camera. So when it comes to battery life, I will be honest with you, I'm not a regular user because I don't use social media, so no Instagram or Facebook or something like that for me. I don't use a lot of third-party apps. I don't install an app until I really know that I'm going to use it at least once per month or something. And I set up my phone in a way that I don't get lots of useless notifications. I don't have a lot of apps running in the background, especially using my location data or stuff like that. So For me, even iPhone 12 mini, which I used for about a month last year, was more than good enough. And iPhone 13 mini is even better. It is obviously not as good as the Pro lineup or even the regular 13, but it is on par with this 12 and 12 Pro, for example, which my wife has been using for the past year without any problems. And that brings us to the camera finally, because camera is the most important factor for me when I choose my phone, because I use it for all of my photos, for all of my traveling photos and videos, for all of my family pictures, for everything, day-to-day photography, and of course for even these videos I record for YouTube. 13 mini has the same excellent camera system as 12 Pro Max, of course apart from telephoto lens, and in my experience when comparing this to the iPhone 13 Pro, the best camera system on the market right now, 13 Pro was very similar to 12 Pro Max and 13 mini because they have the same lenses, and in my experience during the daylight you won't notice any difference whatsoever, and in low light situations you might see a little bit of difference, especially for ultra wide lens, but overall you will get very similar results. And during my comparison review of the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max, it was actually the moment I have decided to sell both of these devices, 12 Pro Max and 13 Pro, and get the 13 mini instead, because the quality I'm getting from this camera is still amazing, and the compact size with all of the other goodies I talked about in this video, like decent battery life and amazing comfort, make this phone the best phone for me. So to summarize, I believe that iPhone 13 mini is the best iPhone for me. It is not the best iPhone ever. I believe that 13 Pro this year is almost perfect iPhone, but for me, because I use iPad and MacBook as well as my iPhone, this device is more than good enough for everything I do with my phone. The camera quality is amazing, it has the decent battery life, and the form factor, it is just one of a kind. I can't say that there is any other phone on the market which feels as good and as powerful and as a great camera as iPhone 13 mini. iPhone 13 mini might not have all of the best features of the iPhone 13 Pro, like macro mode, ProRAW, ProRes, telephoto lens or ProMotion display, but at the end of the day I believe that it has all you need from a phone. It is a great value, and I believe it is the best camera for YouTubers these days, which I will talk about in a separate video, but for this one, that's all I wanted to say. If you have any questions about iPhone 13 mini, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.